Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this very pretty open lacy scarf, which has the total bonus of just being a 1-row pattern repeat. So it's incredibly easy to remember and sit down and mindlessly do. If this is your first visit to my channel, it would be amazing if you just took a moment to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of my future crochet videos. So before we leap straight into how to actually do this very pretty stitch, I just wanted to give you a tiny bit of information about this actual scarf that I am currently making. Now the yarn I'm using for it is Signet Boho Spirit in the colorway Zen. I have linked to it in the description box below, along with a link to Snuffle Bean Yarn where I buy my yarn from. It is an absolutely beautiful yarn. I am always raving about this. It's one of my all-time favorites. Now, so far I have used 3/4 of a ball or 1 ball, and I have got quite a lot of scarf. I am going to estimate that I'm going to need 1.5 balls. So that's why I've got 2 balls on the table. This is my allocation for getting a decent long scarf. Now you can either leave the scarf just as a straight scarf as you see here, or what I'm probably going to do is when I have finished, I'm going to take the 2 ends, and with a length of yarn here, I'll probably sew the 2 ends together and just whip stitch them together to make an infinity scarf. Now also for this scarf, I have used a 4.5mm crochet hook, and the beginning chains I chained 44 chains. Now I've written that in the description box below should you need any more information on this actual scarf for the size that I have made here on the table. All right, that's enough jibber jabber. Let's jump straight into how you do this very, very pretty open picot detailing stitch. Something I forgot to mention a second ago was that this little sample that I've already made up, I have blocked. So don't be disheartened if when you're making yours, it's a bit more sort of crunched up and together. I have blocked this out and left it to dry overnight. So that's why it's looking so perfect and open. So rather than use the Boho Spirit, because I've reached rather a dark section of this yarn, I've just grabbed some normal yarn. This is my Rooster Al Merino yarn, and again I'm going to be using the 4.5mm crochet hook to show you how to do this. Now the pattern multiple is 7 plus 2. So what that means is you will chain in multiples of 7 until you get the desired width. Then you will add 2 more chains at the very end. So for this small little sample, I'm going to chain 28, which is a multiple of 7. Then I'm going to add 2 for a total of 30 chains. So I have my 30 chains here, and now the first stitches are going to be worked into the 6th chain from the hook. Now this loop on your hook does not count as anything, so you're only counting the fully formed chains at the bottom. So we're going to skip the first 5 of them and work into the 6th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I'm skipping, and I'm going to work into this 6th chain here. Now into this 6th chain, I'm going to put 2 double crochets into that exact same chain. That's 1, and that's 2. I'm going to chain 2 and place 2 more double crochets back into that exact same chain. Then I'm going to chain 1. Then I'm going to do a chain 3 picot. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then join with a slip stitch back to this first, ignore that first chain 1, the first of those 3 chains you just did. So you'll have a chain 1, then you'll have 3 more chains going into that third. So 1, 2, 3. slip stitch into this third chain. Now, a word about picots. It is completely up to you where you slip stitch with regards to whether you go under the bottom loop, the top loop, the back, the front, the center. It doesn't matter where you put your slip stitch. Just make sure it's the same place every time and your picots will all look consistent. Now, I've found that personally for this scarf, the picots look nicest if you slip stitch into this bottom section of the chain. Now I'm kind of holding it vertically. If I turn it horizontally into this section, this loop here of that chain. So that's where I'll be doing my slip stitch. But as I said, it is personal preference as to where you want to do yours. Just make sure you are putting it in the same place each time. So that's my little chain 3 picot, then chain 1 again. And we're going to skip 6 chains this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and work into the 7th. Now into that 7th chain, you're going to put 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, all into that very same chain. We're going to repeat this little midsection, so chain 1, then do your chain 3 picot, so chain 3, and slip stitch into the 3rd chain, then chain 1, and again skip 6 chains, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then into the 7th one, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So you'd repeat this all the way down your chain for as wide as it is, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, then chain 1, chain 3 picot, chain 1, skip 6 chains and end back with 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet all the way along. And when you get to the very end, when you've finished your last 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet sections here, you should have 3 chains remaining. So you go ahead and do this all the way down, and I'll meet you at the very end and I'll show you how to end this setup row. So I'm just finishing up my last set here of the double crochets. So you've got this chain 1, chain 3 picot, chain 1 in between your sort of double crochet sets. And at the end of the row, you should have 3 chains remaining. Now go straight from doing this shell into a double crochet right into that very last chain. So we don't want the chain 1 with the picot detailing at the end. You just want to end straight in with a double crochet. And that was your setup row. Now for row 2 is the pattern repeat. So you've got your setup row out of the way, and this next row that we're going to do together is the row you will do over and over and over again until you have the desired length of the project that you want. So for row 2, you're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and turn your work. Now into the chain 2 space in between your double crochets, we're going to repeat this little shell section. So into this chain 2 space, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Then repeat your chain 1, picot, chain 1. So that's my chain 1, then the chain 3 picot, chain 1, and into the next chain 2 space, repeat the same again, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. I find with this, I sort of almost work vertically because of these picots. So apologies if that's throwing your eye off, but if I bring it back into the correct alignment for you. So you'd repeat this for the full width, just repeating what you did on that setup row, but work your 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space of the set below, and then do your chain 1, picot, chain 1, before launching straight back into this little shell section on top of the next little shell section. So keep doing that all the way along, and then meet me back at the end when you've completed your little last shell section into the last chain 2 space that you have. So I've reached the end of my row, and I'm just putting my final stitches into the top of this chain 2 space from the row below. And to end the row, you're going to place a double crochet into the top of your turning chain from the row below. So if you're unsure where that is, you can count your double crochet stitches. So if you flip it, you'll see there's 1, 2, and then you've got your chains here. So a double crochet into the top of your turning chain. And that is all there is to this pattern. You would just repeat row 2 continuously. So you would chain 3, turn your work. In all your chain 2 spaces, you would place 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and then in between them, your little chain 1, picot, chain 1 sections, and then always end the row with a double crochet into the top of your turning chain. Now this pattern, as you can see, works up beautifully in a variegated yarn because it does all the work for you, and you get these really pretty, I don't know if it's picking up on camera or not, but I can feel the little bobbles of the picots, and it's exactly the same both front and back. There you go, you can see them sticking out there. So it just makes for a really delicate, pretty, warm yet lightweight scarf, which would be great in any sort of yarn you wanted, and would look particularly beautiful if you did it really, really wide and had it almost like a big rectangular wrap. That would be really pretty in a sort of lightweight hand-dyed yarn. Oh, it would just be heavenly. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, as short as it was, and if you have any questions, please do shout in the comment section below. I love hearing your feedback, and I do my best to try and get to every single one of you. If you haven't already, it would be great if you just hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, and I would absolutely love to see your photos of anything you make. The best place to find me would be on Facebook. My Facebook page is Hooked by Robin. You can post your photos there or drop me a message because I really love seeing what you guys make from my tutorials. So until next time, happy crocheting! Bye!